All right, you know what it is. This one here is going to be about Bobby Shmurda versus Mob James, Keefe D, and the team captain Reggie Wright, a.k.a. Cop. All right, let's go. Let's get this thing jumping, man. All right. All right, you know what it is, man. This is a mix of a street story, prison story, but I'm giving y'all the real so the youngins understand how this thing go, man. Bobby Shmurda is the face of that. Before I begin, I want to give Bobby Shmurda and his father, Jervis Johnson, a.k.a. Randy, a round of applause. All right? You know what it is. Let's go. All right, so we got Bobby Shmurda, man. You know what I mean? So y'all know who Bobby Shmurda is, you know? 'Cause a lot of y'all might not know because everybody's not in it. Everybody know more about Tupac, but I want you to see what this real young gangster's about, and I gotta give him his props. Now, Bobby Shmurda, his father was with the 90s posse. So I'm gonna tell y'all something about the look of Jamaica and thing them. I'm gonna switch it up so you understand me. I'll chat about so to keep up. Lafayette, official gangster. You know, we know Lafayette long time. Me and Lafayette was even in Lee County, Virginia. Lafayette do legal work and them things. They're brilliant young man. Lafayette, him is the one that start the 90s posse. You understand? So you understand. Now, Lafayette, AKA, they call him Foreigner. You know what I said? And that's what them call him. His nickname is Foreigner. Now, them start the 90s posse, and the 90s posse, them I run round same time when the Gully posse I run round and the, you know, the Spanglers and the show on the Monday, you know? But now, so you understand, Jamaica have enough things that are going as far as you have area that are put it down like Water, Spanish Town, Mobay, them call it G City right now, because right now things are run hot down a yard, and you know? So me I put it down. Now, Keefe D. You know, Mob James. Make sure y'all get this video to these two rat bastards. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we got to let the rat bastards know what the code is because no one told them the code. Now, you got Bobby Shmurda, who his father, you know, a.k.a. Randy, you know, ran with the 90s posse. This was embedded, you know what I mean? Was embedded in this young man. He might not have known his father because his father went to jail when he was a couple of months old. But the stories lived on. Just like when I went to jail, my son was only 18 months, you know, my D, you know, down in Virginia. Now, he grew up down in Virginia hearing all the stories about me coming down there, wilding out, shootouts, you know what I mean, holding my brother down when things go out of order, you know what I mean? And, you already know I was about that bag, you know? But he gravitated, my son, my D, gravitated towards what was going on, you know, as far as with the badness, me I carry on. Me now, me I bust my pistol and I carry on them things there. So he grew up wanting to be like that. The first time I talked to my D on the phone, his mother brought him to come see me one time. I only saw this kid one time, man. He was 18 months when I got locked up. I saw him one time in 26 years. When his mother brought him to come see me, it was a sad moment. So I'm going to enter y'all, because I'm riding. Let me ride. Could I ride, man? All right, let me ride. You know what I mean? You know, so I'm riding now. Now, my D's mother bring him to come see me, and he was about 2 years old at the time. You know what I mean? By the time he come see me in Lewisburg Penitentiary. When he come see me in Lewisburg, you know, he sat on my lap the whole time. I chilled with him, you know, the father-son bond, you know, you put your child on your chest, things like that, and you feel the heartbeat, you know what's going on. So there he was picking up my spirit, just sitting on my lap in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Imagine sitting on your father's lap in Lewisburg Penitentiary, and right now he has life plus 20 with no chance of parole. And You're feeling his vibes. So it become embedded in you because it's the spirit. So y'all understand how strong the spirit is. So that's the same thing that happened with Bobby Shmurda and his father. He was only a couple of months when he got locked up, but he felt the spirit of his father and he heard all the stories growing up about his father. My son, my D, heard the stories about me with the badness, and he heard the story about his father with the badness, and then the gangs came about. When the gangs came about, he joined the GS9, and he held it down. They did what they had to do, allegedly, and when it was time to pay the Reaper, when the peoples came in, they locked him up. Mr. James, Mr. James, I'm even gonna call you. When is it? Yeah. I'm even gonna call you Mr. James. You know what I mean? Because this is not about disrespecting you. This is just about showing you how real men cut from the cloth move, right? And this for you to, Mr. Keefe, But don't forget, you're still rat bastards in my eyes. Don't get that wrong. Now, you got these two, old ass men, and you got this young man right here in his early 20s. Now, the young man gets picked up, and he knew to shut the F up, keep it moving, and do what he got to do. These dudes get locked up. They ain't even get locked up, you know what I mean? But they get in a little situation, and then, they start, singing like Stevie Wonder, to the peoples trying to make a deal to stay home. You don't make deals to stay home. You fight to stay home. Life is about a fight. You understand what I'm saying? Life is about a fight. Now, Bobby Shmurda's father, put it down so hard that he grew up hearing how his father put it down, so he grew up wanting to be like his father, like my son, my D, grew up wanting to be like me. But they picked up these negative ways because when people speak on us in the hood, they speak on the badness we commit in the hood, So when we hear the badness, when they hear the badness that their fathers committed, then they sit there and they turn around and they try and emulate and fall in the footsteps of their father. And, my son, my D, right now is doing 28 years in the state prison, for carjacking, allegedly, and he shut the F up because he knew what it was. Because as he grew up and he heard these stories, he also heard that his father shut the F up and kept it quiet. You understand? So now, this is how Bobby Shmurda's case played out. Because, like I said, I'm riding. I'm riding. Let me ride. Hey, I just like to rap. Like I said, it's like putting in, your different tapes or your different, artists while you riding down the highway. You might play a little, Lil Durk, might play Lil Baby, Lil Wayne, what I mean? All the little dudes that speak to the younger generation that we left behind. Remember, I went to jail in 1993. A lot of y'all watching this wasn't even born in 93. Ask yourself where you was at in 1993, and that's where my criminal career ended, and I began fighting the government. I never sat down with the government. I never allowed my lawyer to talk to the government, My lawyer thought I was crazy. The government definitely thought I was crazy. But, I believe that we deal with it on the street, it ends in the street, just like Tupac. And that's why I respect Tupac. Like I said, I'm the one that told Tupac when he came to see me to teach him how to play birdie, and I turned him down. And I let him know, if you cross over in that lane, just know that whatever you see, you shut the F up, and under no circumstances do you tell or cooperate or work with the police. And Tupac's last words, when the first responder responded, I'm always going to speak on that because I'm so proud of him. You know what I mean? I'm so proud of him from a street point of view. Where I'm at today, you know what I mean? I would have told him the same thing I told him then. It's not worth it. Don't get involved. And I'm telling the youth, don't get involved. But, from a street point of view, I got to give him his props and I got to let it be known where it's at. Tupac's last words to the first responder was F you. You know what I mean? Period. F you. So that means he didn't want them to solve the case. So for this, for this cop, Reggie Wright, to be working with these rat bastards, Mob James and Keefe D, talk about they getting justice for Tupac. Let the civilians do that. Tupac's own parents, Tupac's own, family members, wasn't all on the thing, now that he's gone, you don't hear his family members yelling justice for Tupac, lock him up, take him in court. I was locked up with Matula Shakur. I first met Matula Shakur on January 4th 1990, 1996, I was on a plane heading into ADX, and he was coming out of ADX to make room for me. So y'all understand what I mean by make room for me. They let me out after Life Plus 20. So therefore, they got my bed open to put somebody else in there. They let Dr. Shakur out of ADX to give me his bed. So I don't want you youngins watching this to wind up getting my bed in ADX, Lewisburg, Long Park, Allenwood, Lee County, Coleman, Florida, Atwater, Victorville. They got these beds for you. I'm trying to prevent you from going there by giving you the real. But the best way to do it is to follow in Bobby Shmurda's footsteps. Now, let me show you how much this man deserves a round of applause in my eyes. In my eyes. Calm down, y'all. Calm down. Relax, man. Hey, this is how you get a round of applause in my eyes. They offered him 5 years. Young man ain't had no prize and nothing. See, they offered him 5, offered his Cody's Rowdy Rebel, and, 2 other dudes, 12 years and 18 years. The dude with the 18 years said, man, I'm not going to sign my life away for no 18 years to the government, as he should, so y'all understand that. We don't plead guilty to the government and give 18 years of our life away. So of course he said no. So they went back and the prosecutors came back and they said, only way, y'all gonna get less time because we really want Bobby Shmurda because he's the one that's the face and doing the best out there. We want to cut the head off of those that have an influence on, the generation. So they said, only way we gonna work with y'all is if Bobby Shmurda takes 7 years. So I give everybody 7 years if y'all take 7. To be honest, I don't think the prosecutor expected this young man to stand up like that because the prosecutors be thinking everybody's a rat bastard like Keefe and Mob James. You know what I mean? And the prosecutor's equivalent, to Reggie White. You know what I mean? Reggie White recruited Mob James and Keefe D. The prosecutors couldn't recruit Bobby Shmurda. They couldn't recruit me, so they was pissed. So they threw out there that, okay, you got to take 2 more years. They looking at it like 2 years is going to kill him. He can't do it. He's not going to do it. So we going to throw it out there. And the young man thought about it long and hard. He was pissed that they put him in this situation. He looking at getting out in 5 years, but at the same time, he said, I got to hold down my comrades. And that's what this is about. Listen, I went to a party, because I'm riding. I'm riding. Let me ride. We do. I went to a party the other night. I'm getting ready to air that video probably tomorrow. For one of the homies, Roro. Big shout out to Roro. Round of applause for Roro. Round of applause for Roro. All right. Relax, y'all. Relax. Roro is a real man-on-man time. In the city. Where I come from. So they had a party for him, and all the gangsters came out. I'm talking about, we had Lou Sims in there, we had Bob Lemon, we had Knowledge in there, we had Billy Bates in there, we had real men. We had, it was just so crazy. But we up in the joint, right? And I just want y'all to understand that under no circumstances do you run with the government, Mr. James and Mr. Keefe D. You know what I mean? Because you're still misters in the rat world. But in my world, you're not worth nothing. You're worth All right, so let's get this right. So now, Bobby Shmurda grew up with his father. You know what I mean? With his father's spirit within him. Just like I grew up with Marcus Garvey's spirit within me, and that's why y'all feel me in the manner that you feel me. And I'm taking my time to word this right because I know right now I'm like a professor, in an auditorium talking to my students, So I'm just trying to give it to you right. Now, Yard man them so understand. When we come from Yard, them tell us that money grew up on tree, and when we come a foreign, you know what I mean? And it's, no pun intended to my man Lafayette, a.k.a. Foreign, that started the 90s Posse. 90s Posse was official, Back in the day, we had Delroy Uzi out there. Y'all don't know who Delroy Uzi is, but I told y'all a little bit about him. I'm gonna give y'all some more stories about it in a minute, and I'm gonna start talking more about my culture so you understand how we was raised. We was taught that when we come here, that we stick together, and it's the foreigners against us because we're going foreign into a foreign land. So therefore, we have to make sure that we stick together, and under no circumstances do we commit treason like Rob James and Keefe D. We do not commit treason. That's a no-no. They offered Bobby Shmurda 5 years, offered his co-defendants 12 years and 18 years. They told him only way they, cut their time is if he agreed to take more time. So he laid back, he thought about it, he said, man, give it to me because I'm going to hold my team down because that's how we do. Now, if that don't deserve a round of applause, they tell you you could get out in 5 years or you could get out in 7 years, and that'll bring your co-defendants' time down. How many people think about their co-defendants? What I don't understand is, the rat bastards that pled guilty, gunshot. The rat bastards that pled guilty in my case, they felt like I should have spared them. You're working with the government. If you wanted me to spare you, you should have talked to me and told me to spare you, and we could have came up with a plan to spare you. But you have to communicate with each other, and you have to be on man time. You don't sit down with the government and then say, hey, the government told me. No, we don't do that. But Bobby Shmurda said, give me the extra 2 years. He did his time. Everything is not always a happy ending like Bobby Shmurda to you youngins looking. Bobby Shmurda came home to Heroes Welcome. I think his name was Quavo, picked him up at the joint, bought him jewels, big suitcase of money, and gave him everything he wanted. It don't always pay out like that. I didn't come home to none of that. I'm not mad at none of that, and I'm going to keep it 100. Even though I made the video last week about Puffy, Puffy ain't give me nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Puffy ain't give me nothing. Puffy could have got caught up in some other situations, and the homies kept their mouth shut as they should because Puffy didn't have nothing to do with it, but being that he was cool with him, they could have brought him in just by making it guilty by association because Puffy was going to college. Therefore, y'all got to understand that Puffy is a college kid. He's a college kid. When he started doing Bad Boy and, he was mixing with bad boys and gangsters, everybody tried to put him as a gangster and a bad boy. Puffy was never a bad boy and he was never a gangster, So, he's in the civilian world. He probably paid taxes when he had the local job, at the library in the college, probably paid taxes on it. I'm going to keep it 100. I never paid taxes a day in my life growing up until now that I came home, and now I'm trying to be a civilian, so I paid taxes. So being I paid taxes for, the police to protect me. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but, to be a civilian, that's what you do. So I have to conform and try and work it into where it's at. So for y'all to sit there and say Puffy this, Puffy that, Puffy's not no gangster. He's not no gangster. He's a civilian. That's the same thing that they locking up. What's that boy name? Keada Jones, Quincy Jones. You know what I mean? If they lock up Quincy Jones, he telling. You know what I mean? Because he's a civilian. He's been paying taxes. He's been following the law, so he might know one or two people. Let's say he would have got caught up with something where Tupac would have had a gun. You know what I mean? In the car while he riding to take, him and take Tupac and his daughter somewhere, and they get pulled over, and they got locked up, for the gun in the car. You already know Quincy's not claiming the gun, so Puffy's not claiming the gun, just so you can understand where I'm at, because these are civilians we talking about. So therefore, that's where, Tupac would have to step up and claim the gun. So that's just how it is. So if y'all sitting here and you know somebody that's in the street, but you want to run with them, know that there's consequences to trying to get the light of the street. When I grew up, it was all kinds of rappers and all that emulated us. They watched us, watched what we wore, watched the food we ate, watched our mannerism, how we stand, this and that. And these are the things that Tupac came to me to ask him to teach him to play birdie, being that I was a gangster from out the neighborhood that had a club, and was doing my thing. So from what he got just from being around me the little time, he implemented in that, and then he crossed the bridge and he went over there and he hooked up with Haitian Jack, Jimmy Henchman, and Tut and all them, And, you know, I got some stories about them. I might tell them, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But, you know what I mean? Everybody say, oh, you tell this on another platform. You didn't tell it on yours. Yo, my nigga, let me explain something to you. I got so much stories in my life because I've done so much in my life. Y'all watch so much YouTube videos. You feel you've done the things that I've done and you think you can compete with me. You can't compete with me because you haven't been in a shootout. Like, there's a dude that, you know, I'm not even going to say no names. You know what I mean? But there's a dude that told me that he wanted to help me with my thing and he could get me here and there with my platform, get me movie deal and everything, and he wanted 50%. I told him, my nigga, would you be willing to take 50% of that life sentence? Would you be willing to take 50% of those bullets that went up in me? I got 4 bullets in me as I'm sitting here talking to you. You understand? 4 bullets, and you want me to give you 50% of my heartache and pain and blood and suffering. How could you even fix your mouth for that? If he wasn't a friend of mine, I'm not even gonna lie, I probably would have took his eyes out. But I just knew he didn't know no better. He talking from a business sense and I'm on a street sense. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that it wasn't no malice in what he said. It's just how crooked they are in the corporate world, that they try and get as much as they can. That's why they started the 360 deal. Now, you know, Mob James, you know, because I'm riding. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This young man was looking at 5 years, his co-defendant was looking at 12 years and 18 years, and the prosecutor told him that if he wanted them to get less time, he had to get more time, and he took that. How many of you out there watching this would take that? But then when you sit here, you look at social media, every time you see this young man out there, they trying to eat his back out and trying to do anything to discredit him, because right now, the rats feel like they're winning because it's more than them. But remember, man run the world, never rats, never rodents. We step on y'all, you know what I mean? And the best key for revenge and vengeance is success. Everything Bobby Shmurda do, oh, he did this, he did that. Come on, man. Got it where the young man can't even go out and have a good time where he feeling like Michael Jackson because of the rat bastards. But I know right now his father's proud of him. And I want to give a big shout out to, you know, Lafayette, who started the 90s posse. That's where his father ran with, and that's where those morals and principles was embedded within his father, Jarvis Johnson, A.K. Randy, you know, that spilled over into his son that he wanted better for, but his son chose to run the streets, you know what I mean, be allegedly in a gang and all of this. So therefore, he knew that his son must follow the street code. And the street code is you look out for your posse then. Yeah, that you look out for your posse them because you never know what they're going, so you make sure that everything irie and make sure that, you know, you want the same thing for your brother as you want for yourself. You know? You don't want to go home in 5 years and your brother them out for the 12 years and 18 years if you could turn around and bring it down so that, you know, everybody only does 7 years, and that means you have to take an extra 2 years from what you have to do, which I'm sure him did want to go home after this 5 years, but, you know, him have to do the 7 years to make sure him comrade them come home with him and them come home with him and respect him, and that's how yard man go. You know, that's how yard man go. That's how they teach yard man. That's how them teach Jamaican when them come up here. That's how them teach, you know, Randy when them come up here. And that got embedded in them because them teach it to his woman, and even though it wasn't with him woman, them teach it because them they get locked up for attempt murder charge or something like that. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, you rat bastards in the thing. But in wife embed the principles and morals and code to the game in her son to let him know if that's the road you choose, and these are the consequences of the ways of the actions. And right now, I'm talking to the youth so you understand. All y'all watching, could y'all take, you know, an extra 2 years for your comrade to not have to do, you know, an extra 12 years or extra 7 years? Y'all answer that question. And that's what this young man did. So that's why I said this is Bobby Shmurda versus, you know, rat bastard #1, you know, Mob James, because he running with Reggie Wright, you know what I mean? He got recruited. This is a grown man that's supposed to be a Pyru. You know, I know Lotus Park Pyru cats that's official blood members, official. And and rolling 60s, you know, and Compton and Grape Street. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Like, when we do that, let's give him a round of applause. You know, got to give him a round of applause. Slow down. Because calm down, man. No, Because y'all got me hitting the mic and all that. Because y'all know that, these rat bastards would quickly try and say, oh, you niggas make it on the East Coast or West Coast like Tupac. No, I'm not doing that. I'm talking about a man coalition from all around the globe. If you run the streets, you follow the code, the morals and principles. You look out for your comrades the same as you want them to look out for you. You wouldn't want them to tell on you, so you definitely wouldn't want to tell on them. Now, we had, all the posses back then. We had we had the Untouchables. We called them the Touchy. That's one of the first bad boy crew them from Jamaica. So I might even do something on the Untouchable. I might even do something about each. If you want me to do something about each Jamaican posse, y'all put it in the comments, because I give you what you want. I answer my phone. You know what I mean? I answer my phone like I said. This joint here, it works. I answer when you call. So if any of you rat bastards got a complaint, hit me up. If any of y'all that just want to know about these things that I'm talking about from a real gangster's point of view, hit me up also. You understand? We got the Untouchables. You know what I mean? We call them Touchy for short. Then, we had the Shower Posse. Then we had, Bloodstain. Then we had the Gully Posse. Then we had the 90s. Then we had the Spangler. Cause you remember when the Spanglers in Shower did a beef and a big shootout out in, Jersey and them things. That's when the first time them find out, say, the political war from Jamaica done sprinkle over into America and take it all the way in over to Jersey in a local area that they never expected, because them throw a big party out there in the town, never know so what they're going with the Jamaica, and them have beef, and when them come, they enough gunshot, that man are dead and them things there, So this is what it is, man, because we choose to run the street, but we knew what the code was. And that's why we respect Delroy Uzi. Delroy Uzi did it, him never with no posse, but Delroy Uzi from the Jamaican Labour Party. And, he went against the PNP because, Jamaican Labour Party, they won the war with Siega. And Manley lost the war with PNP. Both of these Europeans came down there, promising to build shanty huts and, little houses and, those little tin boxes. What we put in our backyard for a shed. They promised to do that, and from them promising to do that, the man them come together and them want to fight for them, because they letting them know that we're going to make better houses and we're going to give y'all jobs to build the houses, so that, if you vote for us, you're going to get you houses and jobs. You know what I mean? So, they had ballots. Now, when they had ballots and they got ballot boxes, you go put your ballot in a box. If you're from the Jamaican Labour Party and you go to put your box in the ballot, PNP, I go try and bust your head. You know what I mean? I say bust your head mean, shoot a one pop. It's where you make a gun out of anger bars and you bust your thing, but then she got start give the man them gun allegedly. And the man them start kill each other for trying to put ballot in a them box. Innocent people. Imagine your mother, your grandmother go put ballot in a box and man a shoot her because she, vote for the opposition. That's like voting for Donald Trump and Biden. So imagine if when you go put your ballot in the box and you go to, like tomorrow's election day. So you go do the election day thing. So when you go do the election day thing, imagine while you're going down there, because, you're standing in front of the poll to vote for Joe Biden, you got Donald Trump's, base shooting bullets at you, murdering you. So now you're scared to go put your ballot in the box. You know what I mean? So like Donald Trump said, one less vote, you know what I mean, for the party of choice against me is a vote for me. If y'all didn't understand, I'm not going to say it again, because like I said, I might be talking a little fast, but you got to keep up to understand what I'm saying, because this is what it is in life. Everything is not going to be slow. Everything is not going to be YouTube where you can do all that bull crap. So you can slow it down, the speed of the video to understand what I'm saying. Or, you can pause it and take notes. So Bobby Shmurda, I respect you 100%. You know what I mean? Bobby Shmurda, reach out to me. I've been watching you and your movement for a while, and I love the way you came home and how you did it and you held it down, and you definitely deserve a hero's welcome from a criminal point of view, because we were criminals, and right now the brother's trying to do the right thing. But being that he was in the criminal world, he had to stay criminal and deal with the morals and codes and principles of the game. So youngins, don't get involved in it, so you don't be put in a situation like Bobby Shmurda, where they tell you that your man gonna get 18 years and 12 years unless you take an extra dub, 2 years. But you don't think I mean 20 years. When we say dub, that's what we usually mean, you know what I mean? But now that's where we at. So, I definitely want to give a big shout out to Foreigner, you know what I mean? AKA Lafayette, that's who started the 90s posse. Good man, he helped with my legal case and tried to get me out of jail on actual innocence when I was in Lee County, Virginia. So you understand, even though man bother with the certain things, that's just because of the environment that we did put in. And we do it well for doing a them environment that them things are gone, But once him get in a prison, him do him thing, him learn the law and him help anybody. Anybody want help, Lafayette help them. Anybody. And I want y'all to know Lafayette had life and no chance of parole as well. Called his case down in D.C. and he got dipped, as we call it. He got deported back to Jamaica. He down there holding it down, went back with a hero's welcome, But that's what it is. Lafayette, reach out to me, big brother, because this is what it is. This is what it is. So now in Jamaica, we have areas. We have what do we call Waterhouse, Spanish Town, Mobe. Them call it G City, Gangster City, Gun City, whatever title you want to put on the G. A Mobe that. Then you have Tivoli Gardens, you have Jungle, and don't forget Rima, and you have the Gully Posse. You know what I mean? Big shout out to China Man, Danny Bones, and rest in peace, Scarface Scully, and it's just hard, man. This is a man that me grew up with. Enough things me have in my head and in my heart that me know say, me have to live with. So we all have our demons. Some nights me wake up and me just a sweat. Me I lay down in a bed and me I lay down with my woman and me just I sweat. I'm talking about like if a faucet turn on. That's how the sweat that come out to me from the different demons that haunt me. And I don't want y'all to have these demons haunting you. These stories that I tell you, y'all looks into them and you take them as entertainment, but this is my life and what I have to deal with when I close my eyes and lay my head on the pillow. So that's why I said I don't have time to worry about what a rat bastard, go through at night, or what he goes through in his life, period, because I have my own demons to fight. And you better believe the rat bastards, they wake up middle of the night and they sweat also, but it's a sweat of guilt. You know what I mean? Mine is a sweat of remorse. You know what I mean? Theirs is just guilt. They just guilty they got caught. I'm remorseful because I knew I was wrong and I shouldn't have did it, and that's why I apologize to my community, and I'm trying to give back to the community, and I want y'all to know who Bobby Shmurda is, and I definitely want y'all to know who Rat Bastard, Mob James and Keefe D and the team captain Reggie Wright is. Now, these dudes is going after Puffy because Puffy got the bag. Now, let me say this. You got a dude that made it out the ghetto. And then you got these dudes that was trying to make it out the ghetto and they felt like they was an equal at one time, but then one rise to the top like cream, and that's Puffy. And these dudes is down here because they chose to run with Suge Knight. So when they chose to run with Suge Knight, they thinking that was going to be the way out. But Puffy, you know what I mean? He elevated until you couldn't even see him on the screen no more. So now that he made it, he had to leave certain people behind that might have been there with him from day one. You understand what I'm saying? Because they didn't elevate. They didn't grow. They didn't move forward. You know what I mean? But he did. And now they mad at him and they trying to tear him down and they want his bag and they want what he got, and this is the way they do it. It's not cool. You didn't make it. Take it as you didn't make it. Don't try and pull down another man that made it. And that's why I said I don't give a crap is Puffy is guilty, innocent, or none of that. I just don't want to see another one of our black men thrown in the unjust system to have to fight these devils, because you're not going to get a fair one. You understand? If you got an issue, if I got an issue with a man that did something to me or my family members, my loved one, my homies, my comrades or whatever, I'm going to deal with it. If I choose to. If I choose not to, I'm not. But that don't mean I'm going to go on social media and say, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up, because that's that rat bastard crap, man. And that's why I don't like rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public clowns, because dude wearing flip-flop, you're putting yourself in danger, you wearing flip-flops in public. So that means when the police come, they know you saw everything because you couldn't move and you left your flip-flops behind when you got, you know what I mean, tried to get out of Dodge. So now they're going to pump you for information. So you walk out the street with flip-flops looking to be pumped for information by the police, because they're going to say, man, you had on flip-flops. There's no way in hell you didn't see, you know, that shooting. You know what I mean? Or that dude running up on the side of the road. You know? So that's what it is, man. So, you know, I've been on here long enough. I just wanted to say, man, Bobby Shmurda, man, yo, you a man in my book. You know what I mean? You got 10 stars in my book, you know? And these rat bastards, you get nothing, my nigga. You lost everything. Mom James, I don't know nothing about you. I don't know what you was growing up. Cali know who you were, you know what I mean? But Cali also know who you are now. You know what I mean? Like Keefe D. He in jail, he dealing with a public defender. I think he gonna get a lawyer, because somebody's gonna wind up putting the money up for him. Or a lawyer's gonna step in and take it pro bono, just so he could get his name in the spotlight to say that he, you know, represented Keefe D. You know what I mean? And Keefe, I don't wish you in prison, brother. Let me say that. I don't wish you in prison. I hope you beat the case. I hope you beat the case so you can get whatever street justice that you deserve, or whatever street justice you want to implement for those that you feel put you there. Keep it in the street. That's where it begins. That's where it ends. That's where it died, like where Tupac died in the street. You know what I mean? From these, you know, rat bastard that's on YouTube now talking all of this. Don't do that, man. Don't get involved in the street so you don't have to get caught up in this. And anybody that don't agree with what I'm saying, I'm going to say it again. You're 100% on the right path. Be a civilian. Don't get twisted in the mind like me and, you know, Bobby Shmurda, to have to stand on the morals and principles of the code and the game that we chose. Don't choose the game we chose, because if you do choose it, then you have to do as me and Bobby Shmurda did. And I'm trying to prevent putting you in that situation. All right, make sure you cop the book of Raw in Harlem. Like this video, share this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified for the videos. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep this thing moving, because this is how we move. All right, let me tap out now. All right.